Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on this month and do a currently inked for September and October. And I'm starting out with my TWSBI Eco in blue bronze or indigo blue bronze. And this pen has a medium italic nib. And I have found that this nib is a little bit hard for me to write with, which you might be able to tell here. And I have this pen currently inked with Kobe Rokyo Moon Yellow, and it is a beautiful, deep yellow. That's about all I can say, kind of like a moon yellow, which I went with for Halloween. And I do love the way that this pen looks when you write with it, but I find that maybe it's the way that I hold the angle of the pen. It just makes it hard for me to write, and it feels like I'm going to scratch and tear the paper. So I don't know if anybody has suggestions of how to make that easier or what I'm doing wrong. Please let me know, because I do love it. So that's my TWSBI Eco in indigo blue bronze. And then the next pen I have inked is my Esterbrook SD in petrified forest. And this one has an extra fine nib. And I have it inked with Taranishi guitar ink in opera rose. And of course most people have used this ink, or a lot of people have. And I love this ink. I love it paired with this pen. This pen came with a journaler's nib, and I swapped it out for an extra fine because I just found that the journaler's nib was a little too much for me. For my everyday writing, I more enjoy an extra fine or a fine. And I've been doing a lot of writing in my journals now, so I just enjoyed the extra fine. So that's my Esterbrook SD in petrified forest. And then the next pen I have is my Pelikan M800 in transparent green. And this one has an 18 karat gold extra fine nib. And I have this one inked with Dominant Industry Leaf Green. And this green is what I would say is the perfect fall green for me. It's just it reminds me of a forest, which I guess goes with leaf green. It's a beautiful green, deep color, and it shades, I think it shades really nicely. You can't really tell that much in this extra fine nib, but it does, in the swatch you can tell it shades really nicely. So that's my Pelikan M800 with the extra fine nib. One of my favorite pens. Now the next pen is right now not one of my favorite pens, and this is the Magna Carta Mag 600 in obsidian with a 14 karat gold flex nib. And I am having such a hard time getting it together with this pen. It's, for me, so hard to write with, and I wanted to love this pen so much, but I struggle and struggle and struggle with it. And I have it inked with Wearingeul Half Moon Dimmed Light, which I absolutely love the color of this ink. I love the swatch with it's a gray with a silvery light blue shimmer, and it's just gorgeous. But this pen, I can't control it. I think that's the problem. I can't control the pen. And I've seen people do such beautiful writing with it, but for me, it's almost near to impossible. So that is my Magna Carta Mag 600. And then the next pen I have inked up is another Esterbrook SD, and this is in the color Lilac, which is totally not a fall color, but I love the pen and I love the ink, and this is a carryover actually from August, and I'm just trying to use it up because I love the combination so much, but it's not a pen that I get a lot of use out of. It's just so beautiful, I don't want to dump it out. And it's inked with Robert Oster Violet Dreams. And this is a violet ink with a gold shimmer. And I don't know if you can see it on there, but it has like this blue shading. It's so pretty. So that's my Esterbrook SD in Violet. And then this next pen is a new pen for me, and this is a Novalour Original Plus in Lavender Tetra with a fine nib. And I forgot to open the back of the pen before I started writing with this. It's a back fill, but I got it going there. And this is inked with Robert Oster Barossa Grape, which is a beautiful deep plum color, and I think it matches this pen amazingly. It's just so pretty. And it's it's a really nice color to use in your journals because it's just that deep warm purple color, great for fall, and it goes with a lot of the fall stickers and ephemera that's out right now. And because this pen kind of dried up a little bit, and I had it closed, I'm struggling a little bit here to write with it. But it is a really good writer. With having so many pens inked, it's not like they all get used every day. So some of them, not all of them, but some of them do dry up a little bit, especially if I have them closed up. So that's my Novalour Original Plus. And then the next one, I just can't seem to unink. And this is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim in Snow Moon with a 14 karat gold medium fine nib. And it is inked with Robert Oster Whiskey. And I can't even tell you how many months I've had this pen inked up. This is my favorite combination of pen and ink that I have come across. I feel like the ink was just made for this pen. I've not had another ink that writes so well with this pen. And I think, let's see, I've probably had this inked up since June, May or June, and I probably will continue to have it inked up through at least the end of the year. And I had a sample of it, I have a sample of it, the Robert Oster Whiskey, and I love it so much that I went back and ordered a bottle of it. Because it's become one of my absolute favorite inks. So that's my Sailor Pro Gear Slim in Snow Moon. And then my next pen is another Sailor, a Sailor 1911 Large in black, and this one has a 21 karat gold medium nib. And this one I have inked with Robert Oster African Gold. And I love this color for autumn, and I think it's a great October ink also. And this pen, of course, with a 21 karat nib, writes so good. It's so smooth and buttery, and there's just nothing bad I could say about it. It's amazing. So that's my Sailor 1911 Large. And then the next pen is my Twisbe Diamond 580 ALR in black with a fine nib. And I actually have almost written this dry, which is amazing for a Twisbe. But the combination of these two is so good. This is inked with the Lennon Toolbar Sesame Oil. And I know that this is a really, really popular ink. And at first I was skeptical because when I looked at it online, it seemed so light. But in person, it doesn't write light at all. And it's so wet and it flows so well. And I love it, just love it. So that's my Twisbe Diamond 580 ALR. And then this is a new pen. This is an Asvine V200. It's a vac fill titanium in clear with an extra fine nib. And this one, I had a little bit of problem getting it started. I haven't had that before with my Asvines. I have quite a few of them. I don't know, I hadn't used this pen in a while. It's inked with Inky Bar Brown, which is a great ink, so I know it wasn't the ink, it's the pen. So I'm still getting used to this pen. I enjoy it. I love the way it looks. And I just need to do a bit more writing with it and see how this is going to work out for me. But that's my Asvine 200 titanium in clear. And then the final one on this page is my Kaweco Sport in Apricot Pearl. And this one has a medium nib. And it's inked with Dominant Industry Earl Grey tea. And this definitely is my October ink. And I love this combination. For me, I have really small hands, so the Kawecos are a great pen for me. That and the Pro Gear Slims. So this one I've been using a lot of in my journals. And I love this color. I use it in a lot of my pens. And so that's my Kaweco Sport, Kaweco Sport in Earl Grey tea. Now moving on to the second page here. And yes, I have a lot of pens inked. And this is a Lami 2000 in black Maclaron. And this one, you'll see coming up here that I got a little out of sync. But this one is actually an extra fine. And even though I write that it's Elliott Bay, it's actually inked with the wet pen Deception Pass. So as I go on here, I'll figure this out and I'll go back and correct myself. But the swatch is for Elliott Bay and the writing is Deception Pass, and those are both from the wet pen. Both beautiful inks. His inks are really nice. I got them, I don't know, a month or two ago, and I've been using them quite a bit. They flow really nicely in all my pens. If you like a nice, wet, juicy ink, the wet pen is a great ink. And then I have my Lami Safari in charcoal with a 1.1 stub on it. And again, wrong swatch, but this is inked with Robert Oster River of Fire. And this I use in my 5-year journal a lot, not so much in my other journals. But I do use it in my 5-year journal, and I'm pretty sure I just spelled charcoal wrong there. I'll tell you, it's been a long September, um, and my mind has not been in my journals or whatnot, so this mistake doesn't surprise me at all. Okay, now I have my Asvine B126 in transparent teal, and this one has an extra fine nib. This is another Asvine with an extra fine nib, and this one I've not had any problems with hard starts. Oh, I wrote the wrong model there. This is a V126, which is a vacuum fill. And this one is inked with Taranishi Guitar ink in gentle green. And Taranishi Guitar ink in gentle green is probably one of my favorite inks of all time. I am on my second bottle of it, and I just, for me, it's, I love, it's a deep, dark, tealish green, but still on the green side. And it's not the swatch that you're seeing, it's the next swatch down. So, yeah, it's more green than what that swatch is showing. And this is my Sailor Pro Gear Slim in Fuki with a 14 karat fine, and it's also inked with Taranishi Guitar ink gentle green. So yeah, this is, I have 2 pens inked with the same ink just because I love it so much. And pretty soon here, I'm going to realize my mistake. And then we'll get back on track. So as I was saying, September was kind of a hard month. I've been dealing with a senior dog who has some problems, so my mind has definitely been in other areas of my life. But we're getting through it, and I'm excited to get back in my journals. And one thing I have been journaling about, though, oh, there, I realized my mistake. One thing I've been journaling about a lot is what he's going through, so that as time goes by, I can go back and look at these memories and, you know, be grateful for the good times that we had during this time. And I think it's important, and just to cherish this time that we still have together, because I've had him for a very long time. So here I am, correcting all my mistakes, trying to figure out how I'm gonna determine what swatch goes with which pen, but I think I figure it out here. So there I am. That's actually the Elliott Bay swatch. And now I'm going to go back up above. And then this is another Lami 2000 that is actually inked with the wet pen Elliott Bay. And this one's in a fine nib. And I apologize you can't see all that. I love the way the Lami 2000 fine writes. It's very smooth. So now I'm making that the extra fine, and we're changing that to Deception Pass. And now I'm thinking, what the heck am I going to do with that empty area? So I just decided to write down what I did. Which is, this is a huge mess. Okay, so now we get back on track. And this is my TWSBI Eco. I don't even think I showed you the pen. My TWSBI Eco in white rose gold with a medium nib. And it's inked with Van Diemen's Shooting Star, which is this beautiful blue ink with red sheen, and it's got shimmer in it also. And I've had this pen inked with this ink for quite a while, and I've just decided to leave it inked in that pen because I really enjoy the ink. And with how much shimmer there is and how much sheen there is, I don't want to put it in a bunch of different pens, so it stayed in this pen. And then the next pen I have is my Pilot E95S, and this one is a 14 karat gold extra fine, and I have it inked with Diamine Merlot. And this one really writes extra fine. It's one of my finest pens. And this pen, I think, is one of the classiest looking pens I own also. Even though I don't use it a lot, it's so classy looking. So that's my Pilot E95S in black. And then my next pen is my Pilot Custom 823 in amber with a 14 karat gold medium nib. And this one definitely does not write fine. This is the juiciest pen I probably own. And this one is inked with Diamine Cherry Sunburst, which is a really pretty color. I love all the Diamine inks in that range. I think there's Honeyburst. I can't remember all of them, but they're all really beautiful inks. So that's my Pilot Custom 823 in amber. And then the next pen is another Esterbrook SD in Botanical Gardens, and this one is also in an extra fine. And this one I have inked up with Lennon Toolbar's Sun Moon Lake Ruby Tea. And again, these Lennon Toolbar inks have amazed me. I went so long without ever even trying them, and now they're just one of my favorite inks. I don't think you can really go based on what they look like online, or at least I've found that they're so different than what they look like online. To me, when you have them in person, they just look so much more saturated, and I'm not sure if it's my pens or my paper or what, but they're just so beautiful and they flow so nicely. So that's my Esterbrook SD in Botanical Garden. And then my next pen is my Pilot Vanishing Point in Black Carbonesque with a 14 karat gold medium nib. And I have this one inked with Diatramentis Document Black. And this is one of my everyday writers. And this is also a really juicy pen. Pilots in the 14 karat gold nibs, when you get to a medium, I've found they get really juicy. So, my fine nibs seemed really fine, and then there was a huge step between a fine and a medium for me. So that's my Pilot Vanishing Point in the black Carbonesque. And then my final pen is my Lami Vista, which is one of my very favorite pens. I just love this pen, and you know, it's just a pen you can buy on Amazon, and I don't know how much it is. It's under $50. But for me, this pen writes so amazingly. And I have this inked again with the Diatramentus Document Black because I use it every day in my work planners, in my regular planners. I use it for everything. So that's all, and thank you for watching. Have a great month.